Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about something most of us think of as, a fundamental good thing. We're talking about empathy, but we're going to look at it from a different angle and explore what happens when it goes a little too far. And look, let's be real. In so many ways, it absolutely is, right? It's our ability to connect with people, to actually get what someone else is going through. It's what holds our friendships, our families, our whole society together. It really is a kind of superpower. But here's the big question for today. Can something that seems so purely good actually have a dark side, a harmful side? Can our greatest strength, in some situations, actually turn against us? Well, let's get into it. So this shadow side of empathy actually has a name, and it's a really powerful one: self-erasure. This is the moment when that beautiful act of caring for someone else crosses a line and becomes an act of completely forgetting about yourself. So what does that actually look like? Well, self-erasure is this pattern that can develop. It's where you, as a really caring and empathetic person, get so locked into someone else's feelings, their pain, their problems, their needs, that your own feelings just start to fade away. They get quieter and smaller until it's like they're not even there anymore. Okay, this slide really draws a clear line in the sand, and it's so important. Healthy empathy, that's about understanding another person's feelings. You can see their pain, but you're still you. But then there's pathological empathy, the kind we're talking about. That's about absorbing their feelings. The line between you and them just totally blurs, and their pain basically becomes your pain, and that leads straight to abandoning yourself. If there's one thing you remember about how this happens, let it be this. This is the exact moment that switch gets flipped. It's when your focus shifts completely away from your own perfectly valid hurt and you put 100% of your energy onto theirs. This might all sound a little abstract, so let's make it real. Let's look at a concrete, high-stakes example where this kind of empathy gets pushed to its absolute breaking point. We're going to dive into the incredibly painful situation of infidelity. Now, this is a scenario that forces a massive amount of emotional work, and it's basically the perfect breeding ground for this kind of harmful empathy to take over. Okay, so here's how this can play out step by step. First, the betrayal happens. It's devastating. Then your natural empathy kicks in. You try to understand why they did it. But then comes step 3, and this is the dangerous turn. Your focus pivots away from your own deep hurt and onto their guilt or their excuses. And before you know it, you're at step 4. You're actually comforting them, telling them it's going to be okay. And in doing that, you're minimizing your own pain. That right there, that's self-erasure in action. And this quote from the source material just nails it. The crazy paradox here is that you end up trying to fix the person who broke you, and you do it by ignoring your own wounds. Now, that example is obviously super intense, but this pattern isn't just about huge betrayals. It can creep into friendships, your job, your family life. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger danger here of letting this become a habit. See, when self-erasure happens again and again, it becomes this really dangerous habit. The experts call it over-tolerance. It's basically a state of being where you just constantly accept things that you know deep down are not okay. And the fallout from this is serious. You start quietly accepting behavior that goes against your own values. You lose touch with your own boundaries. And maybe worst of all, you are literally teaching other people that your feelings don't matter as much as theirs. Over time, that leads to this really deep, hollow feeling that you've just completely abandoned yourself. So what's the bottom line here? It's this: real, healthy empathy should never, ever require you to disappear. It's about connecting, not vanishing. It's about holding space for someone else's feelings while still holding on to your own. Your compassion for other people should never cost you your own self-worth. Which leaves us with a really important question to think about. It's the tightrope we all have to walk, right? How do we give our amazing gift of empathy to the people we love, to the world, without erasing the very person who's doing all that caring? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me.